Have you ever gotten an opportunity where you maybe didn't work that hard, or have you felt like you get a lot of favoritism no matter who it is or in whatever situation? Have you ever gone into a room and you can instantly feel the energy shift, whether it's in a positive or a negative way? And have people ever told you that they find you intimidating or acted as if you intimidate them, no matter what their status is or who they are to you? If any of that resonated with you, then you may want to stick around. This is pretty privilege versus aura. I'm going to be talking about the differences between the two, as well as signs that indicate that you have aura and not just pretty privilege. So, if this is something you're interested in hearing about, stay tuned because we're about to get into it. First, I'm going to start by breaking down what pretty privilege is. Now, I'm sure you've heard it, social media, everyone's putting in their hot takes. What is pretty privilege? What it can do for you, what type of benefits you get from it, whether or not you have it. But I wanted to get a little more in depth and also just give my own definition of what I believe pretty privilege is. And to me, it's someone who is essentially easy on the eyes, someone that's nice to look at, somebody aesthetically pleasing. Maybe they fit the current beauty trend, or maybe they have a more exotic appearance that maybe isn't very common in your area, region, etc. I feel like pretty privilege is the ability to have access or entrance in places that people typically wouldn't have, even perks. Maybe you get things for free just for being pretty. Maybe you are able to meet certain people because you're pretty, or people go out of their way trying to impress you. You get the exclusivity, you get the attention, but it's solely based off of your appearance. It's very shallow, it's very on the surface. It's merely because people like the way you look. I feel like those with pretty privilege typically are either singled out for being too pretty, or people gravitate towards them quickly, but like I said, on shallow intentions because they are pretty. I've ever experienced like favoritism, but just solely based on your looks. Maybe you were like first pick when it came to picking partners or teams, or maybe you have a lot of followers. I think those are examples of what pretty privilege can do for you in your everyday life. You know, are getting a lot of attention from guys who basically just entertain you because of how you look. And I'm not saying this with any shade. A lot of people get by on pretty privilege. I do not hate the player, nor do I hate the game. I'm merely just stating what I believe pretty privilege is. Also, those who have pretty privilege, at least earlier on in their ages, were probably bullied and couldn't really explain why. Maybe you stole somebody's boyfriend on the playground and you just didn't even know it. I mean, just like in the most innocent way, but you still, got objectified and oppressed because of your looks, whether you knew it at that time or not. Okay, so now I'm going to explain what I believe aura is. And to me, aura is an energy. It's not necessarily how you look. I don't think that you have to have pretty privilege in order to have aura. I think aura is something entirely on its own because it is internal, not so much based on the outer appearance. Like I said, though, it can draw people in, but aura is what makes people stay. So to me, it's someone who is confident, whether they're outwardly confident or if it's more within, a more silenced confident. You definitely feel it. You notice it immediately. And that is kind of what causes rooms to shift when you step into an event or a place and people are just not familiar with you. Instead of shunning or hiding from the intimidation like someone with pretty privilege might do, being uncomfortable with people acting like they're intimidated by you is a thing. And so those with aura, I believe they embrace it rather than feel shame or embarrassment or discomfort from it. Comes to their features or just their essence, they lean into what makes them unique rather than shy away from it. They know that that's what makes them stand out in the room, and so they embrace it wholeheartedly, which also just adds to the aura. They are authentic. These are people who don't apologize for the things they say. They don't apologize for their opinions, their choices. They stand on business and they don't mind having an opinion or going in a direction that doesn't have many people behind them. They're not afraid to stand alone. Next, they're alienated by a lot of people, so much to the point that sometimes it baffles even them. When you have aura, some people just can't handle it. They can't handle being next to you because they know that people are going to gravitate towards you. They can't handle being a friend because they don't want to hear what's going on in your life that's positive and maybe is better than them. Like, they experience such a wide and grand amount of alienation that they probably often wonder late at night if there's something wrong with them. Also, they are bullied or were bullied on a whole other level. Now, me, I feel like I can resonate with that one. I was bullied in elementary, middle, high school, and college. And as I think back to those moments, yeah, there were some things that played a part. Not saying it's okay. I'm not condoning bullying and I'm not condoning me being bullied, but I was a new kid a lot of times. I went to a lot of different schools, and so being different and having to stand alone, it brought out a lot of opinions, whether positive or negative. And people went out of their way to make me feel that, if I was at a school where well, for one, I was always different, no matter what the demographic of the school was. I always stuck out like a sore thumb because I am different. And like I said, some people took it in a good way, but most people didn't. And so they found very creative ways to make me feel different, to make me feel out of place, to make me feel like I don't belong. And I'll be real with you guys, I carried it. I carried it with me. And then to my surprise, to get it in college too, it's just like, dang, like we're never gonna get out of this, are we? I was made fun of for how I talked, how I thought, how I dressed, how I looked, the decisions I made. I mean, I honestly got to the point where I just got comfortable with people talking about my life, with people talking about my decisions, talking about my choices. It almost, as I got older, I started to realize like it was a bit of an obsession on their end. Like I said, going out of their way to make me feel out of place. And congratulations, they did it. So now I'm taking that energy and I'm switching it back. And now I have just so much aura. They hate it, but we're over that. With that, I just, enough is enough. Like, what am I going to do? Am I constantly going to hide and shun away from people who try to make me feel different? No, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to stand tall and I'm going to love on myself because that's what they think I don't have. And that's what makes bullying effective. And if they don't have that, they don't have anything on me. So, yes, talk about me, say what I'm doing, be obsessed, watch my videos. I don't really care. Like, everything that people are doing to go out of their way and make me feel less than or make me feel different is actually just boosting me up and making me a trending topic. So once you unlock that, you start to see that it's actually not a bad thing when you are on people's minds because, like I said, they're just bringing you up. The word of mouth. I mean, it's great business, and all you have to do is learn how to alchemize it, which means turning it around and using it for your benefit and not looking at it in a negative way. Some people don't have anything better to do than talk about other people who make them feel inferior. And if that is me, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to lean into it. And I'm just going to, what do the kids say? Aura farm. I'm just going to get bigger and bigger and draw more people in and be more magnetic. So that's what I think aura is. But I'm going to add on for those who maybe are unsure of whether they have aura or not. And so I'm just going to give you like a couple little examples. So if you get majority of these, then you definitely have aura. All right. So if strangers open up to you, tell you any personal stories, or just get really comfortable with you really quickly, that is a sign that you have aura. Just a little example, I would get that a lot. Like, I either meet someone in an event or maybe my family introduced me to someone, and then, like, it's the first day we meet, what have you, and they would just open up to me. They would tell me things about their life. I didn't ask any questions. I never asked them to tell me what they told me, but they told me nonetheless. And so I was just like, okay, I don't do anything with that information. Also, if you have aura, please use it lightly. Like, don't manipulate people. Don't take advantage. Like, they trust you. They feel comfortable in your energy. They feel comfortable in your presence. Or they might just want you to trust them really quickly. But either way, they have been prompted in some way, somehow, to tell you this information because they do want something from you. So, with much that is given, also be mindful of what's being taken as well. So, just the energy exchange, make sure that they're a good person, but that is a sign that you have aura. Is people trust you very quickly, they're comfortable with you, and they tell you very personal details about themselves, such as a life story. If you ever felt like people took your ideas, took your style, even took the words you were saying and tried to foot it as their own, kid y'all not, guys, middle school, right? Oftentimes I was like very shy and quiet, and sometimes when I talk to people, like, I wouldn't look them in the eye. Sometimes I wouldn't speak clearly. And so I would talk to people. I'd be like in a group setting talking, and I would say something, and I would realize like no one heard me. And then someone in the same group would say the exact same thing. And I kid y'all not, it was just, to this day, like, mouth drop, no words. Like, what? You're gonna say what I said, which makes me know that you heard what I said, and pass it off as your own? I'm that girl. Oh my God. Even at a little age, like, and that, like I said, it has nothing to do with like pretty privilege or anything. That was just me being magnetic, me having aura, and you feeling like what I said was just really that iconic that you had to pass it off as your own. So, if you're someone that's had that experience, please let me know in the comments because I know that one's a little different. Even as an adult, that's happened. And I just laugh it off, like I said, because I know now what that is about. But yeah, that's a strange one. And those with aura definitely can resonate with that one. I kind of added on to this, but people going out of their way to bring you down. And this is like opposite sex, same sex, just someone who goes out of your way. Maybe they insult you. Maybe they take something that they thought was like something you did to offend them, even though you didn't, and just run with it. I mean, there's so many different ways that people go out of their way, but you can feel it. Someone with aura definitely is familiar with this. It is very common. People just don't want to see you up. And you will be so surprised because your peers, I mean, it'll just look like they're getting all the support, but when it comes to you, it's just a little friction, it's a little slow. You just don't understand why things aren't connecting, and you're outperforming or you're outworking and you're not seeing that feedback. It might be your energy. You might intimidate people because you have aura. I'm just saying. And then lastly, people want to be around you, right? I know I said that in pretty privilege, but the difference is with aura, it's not about looks. It's not about looks. They like you when you're done up. They like you when you're not. They like you when you're happy, you're sad, you're angry. I mean, you literally don't need to do anything, and people will gravitate towards you. They're still going to talk to you. They're still going to ask your opinion. They're still going to want to, get updates on your life. That is a sign of aura. They love your energy. They want to be in it. Another sign that you have aura, you don't have to compete for attention. It comes to you naturally. As I said before, people gravitate towards you no matter how you look, no matter how you dress. It's beyond that. It's beyond aesthetics. It's beyond style. It's beyond swag. It's beyond it all. Like, really, it's effortless. It's literally as natural as breathing. That's how you'll really know, is when people are close to you or people look at you as soon as you walk in somewhere, and it's not always, hey, what you doing tonight? Is more so, hey, what's your name? Like, I would like to meet you. this, that. I'd like to network with you. I'd like to, get to know you more on a professional level or on a personal level. You want to be friends. I mean, the list goes on, but it's not just on a shallow physical level or visual level. Another sign that you have aura is, as I said, you're confident, but you don't go out of your way to be confident. You just head held high, shoulders back straight. Like every time you walk in a room, every time that you're around someone or around people that you don't know, you don't shy away. You don't miss eye contact with people. You're very intentional. Those are all signs of someone that has aura. Also, just to piggyback off of that, if you can hold your own in rooms with affluent people, and I'll just give a little example. If you guys have been following me for a while and watching my videos, you see that I have a lot of story times where I am around a lot of affluent people, and I do share my experiences in that. And in every single one of those experiences, I was never shy. I was never scared. I was quiet, I was reserved, and I was professional. I mean, it wasn't always a professional setting, but I always view myself as a brand, and I'm always going to be, on my stuff. But I definitely brought the opportunities that I did because I was so confident in my quietness, in my poise. People are like, oh, she's not the loudest in the room. I wonder what she has going on. And that, guys, is aura. That is what quiet confidence can give you. And it all just comes from knowing who you are, but we'll get more into that in my next section. If you are a grounded person, then you are someone with aura, or you're on the way to being someone with aura. Being grounded means that you don't forget where you come from. You don't let the glitz and glam, the flashiness, the extravagantness of whatever hinder you or make you think that you're better than other people, feed your ego. You don't act ugly towards people. Like, you're very much on the ground, down to earth. Everyone that I know with aura has always been down to earth. It is a huge sign that you have it, because you're not trying to go out of your way to make people feel less than, or brag and boast about what you have, what opportunities are for you, and etc. It's a big sign. I also just want to add the last one is consistency. Those with aura are consistent with the aura, okay? You're not going to be all of these qualities on Wednesday and then by Friday you're the opposite. No, you don't have aura, you're an actor. And if you were trying to get aura, that's not the way to do it, because people are going to notice that you are a completely different person every other day. And that can just open up another can of worms. Oh, Lord. But anyway, yeah, definitely you cannot do that. Being consistent is really important when you have aura. Like I said, everyone that I know with aura has aura through and through, Monday through Sunday. Okay? Like, no changes. This isn't a facade. This isn't a role, a gimmick. Like, this is who they are through and through, with their character, their confidence, their groundedness, humbleness, and more. Why aura outlasts pretty privilege? Aura outlasts pretty privilege because, as I've said earlier in this video, beauty is visual and aura is intentional. Okay? There's a quote, I don't know it verbatim, but basically it goes along the lines of, people forget faces, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And that's where aura comes into play, because you can look however you want to. If you are ugly on the inside, best believe people are going to have a bad taste in their mouth forever. Like, it does not go away, guys. You have to do extensive work to get rid of that image if you're someone who is in the public eye. And so that's why a lot of affluent people, just a side note, a lot of affluent people are very good at farming that aura or having that aura, because it does go hand in hand with having a good brand image. And lastly, I just want to talk about those who maybe don't have aura and want aura, or have aura and want more aura. Can you build it? Yes, you can build it. And here are some ways that you can do that. For one, spend time alone. Get to know yourself on a personal level, if anything, a deeper level than you already do. Those who live and spend time in solitude definitely have a better understanding of themselves, have a stronger inner voice. And so when you are in public settings, you are able to hear that inner voice a lot closely. It can keep you safe, and it will also keep you true to yourself. Stop performing for attention or likability. Okay. We're no longer doing it for clout. We're not. I actually hope that in 2026, no one is doing it for clout anymore. I see it all the time on my timeline. People are just doing stupid things all the time for clout, for likes, for shares. And that can be anywhere from what they're wearing to what they're doing to what they're saying. Like, enough. Okay. Those people don't have aura. They are popcorn people, which means they're going to pop up, get that success, get that engagement, and then nobody's going to know where they are in like 5 years. Honestly, like, that's how quickly things go. Shoot, a year. It does. It moves very, very fast. And you don't want to be one of those people who's just doing things to get on the map. People can tell, and that's a huge sign that you have no aura. Also, you want to prioritize choosing alignment over approval. Kind of said that a little bit earlier when I was talking about your inner voice, your true self. If you're a public person or you're someone that has aura, you're going to be prompted with making decisions that you have to stick to your guns with. You have to stand on business with. And that might make you lose friends. That might make you maybe not the most popular person. But guess what? As you continue to make those decisions based on who you truly are and what you truly want in this world, I promise things are going to unfold for you in the most beautiful way possible, because you're actually creating your own reality. You're generating your own energy, and you're making a place for yourself that you are going to absolutely love because you kept it real. Another thing you can do is speak slower and more intentionally. Super important to slow it down, be more calm, because that's someone with aura. They don't rush. They don't over explain, overshare. Like, it's very much, if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to say anything. Do less, but be authentic about it. I used to feel like I had to do so many things just to get on the map. I had to, be over here doing this and over there doing that. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is that is not necessary. Those with aura, the money finds them. Okay. The people who want to help them gravitate towards them because they have aura. They don't have to do anything. The right people are going to come, the wrong people are going to go. And it's just so much easier to navigate that way. That's what I have to say about pretty privilege versus aura. Let me know in the comments if you feel that you agree with my points, if you think that pretty privilege is more than what I explained, maybe you want to add on to it. And same with aura. If you think that there's more to it, please let me know. Let me know if you want me to do this more often, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.